All right, so on the last episode from yesterday, we talked about NFL honors preview for tomorrow, and then we already named the last 59 Super Bowl MVPs. We talked about James Harden and Darius Garland possibly could swap. If we'll tell you that in a moment. Cooper Flagg squared off against Jaylen Brown. We talked about that as well. And Robert Kraft being snubbed into a Pro Football Hall of Fame. So, let's see what's coming up on JDB's morning cap. And we say happy Wednesday, first Wednesday of February. Today is February 4th, 2026. This is JDB's morning cap. Super Bowl is 4 days away between the Seahawks and the Patriots. We'll talk Seahawks and Patriots tell of tape today. We'll see what kind of stuff they had. So this is excitement for this. Tomorrow is trade deadline. Trade deadline is tomorrow in the NBA. I'm looking forward to that. But first, we're gonna start with the breaking news last night in the NBA. So I clearly want to get off my chest. As for this, the Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired James Harden, exchanging for Darius Garland and the draft picks. So Darius Garland is heading to the Clippers along with the draft pick. James Harden is headed to Cleveland. Oh, by the way, the Cavaliers will play the Clippers tonight in LA. So the question is, will James Harden will make his debut or they're gonna keep him out for the next game? So we'll see. We'll see if someone makes a decision here tonight. Darius Garland is a Clipper, but he's still out with an injury. So hopefully he'll come back by end of this month or beginning next month to get his activities. Cavaliers are sitting the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference with a 30-21 record, the same record as the Raptors. The Raptors have a tiebreaker because of a head-to-head season series. Meanwhile, for the Clippers, they're sitting 23-26, which is 9th place in the West, and they're in the play-in spot as well. So I'm going to ask this question about the James Harden deal. Do you think James Harden deserves to be a champion in the near future? I believe so. He's won an MVP. He's never won a title. He has been to the NBA Finals, however. He's never a champion. He is an all-star, or at least multiple times. But James Harden is one of the greatest players in a generation. I said one of the greatest players in a generation, not the greatest, if one of the greatest greatest players in a generation in the NBA today. But now they're going to pair with Donovan Mitchell as the Cavs visits the Clippers tonight. If James Harden does play tonight and starts, Maybe the Clippers are gonna boo. Yeah, the Clippers are gonna boo James Harden for sure. They're gonna jeer him. I believe me, they really saving a lot of stuff. They were going at it. By the way, Cavs have won 8 of their last 10 ball games, so that's why they helped to acquire James Harden. Try to get their goal is to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have not done so since 2018. That's the last time the Cavaliers have tripped to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they're trying to accomplish that goal down the stretch. They will have to face the Pistons in the second round if they want to use it. And in the conference finals, you could face Boston or New York, because Boston's playing very well right now. New York is playing very well. Detroit has played well all season. So James Harden going for the contending team, it's the easiest path for him to get a fresh start. So many fans are going to hate James Harden for this, especially Clippers fans. Clippers fans should be sorry when you lose James Harden like this. Then the Kawhi Leonard and James Harden effect just didn't work out. Because of age issues. Their defense is slow and old. That was early in the season. But getting Darius Garland will be significant. But I know Darius is, like I said, Darius is still out with the injury, because it really hurts them the most. If that's the case, then they can make it a whole lot of difference in this one. All right, so let's stay with. All right, so tonight we got Cavaliers taking on the Clippers tonight at 10:30 Eastern. Whether or not James Harden is going to play tonight, I'm not sure about that. If James Harden does intend to play tonight, or he could be at the game on the other end, then they're probably going to boo him. The Clippers fans might boo him because of that. It's really hard. It is really hard right now if you're a Clipper fan. So, like I said, Cavaliers are 30-21, tied for the number 4 seed, but the Raptors take the tiebreaker because of a head-to-head season series. The Clippers are the number 9 seed. They will have a home court advantage for the racing for the 8th seed. Have the play-in started today. They will have to face the Portland Trailblazers to fight for the 8th spot of the playoffs. And whoever wins that game will face the loser of the 7th seed game between the Warriors and the Suns. Right? No, I got it wrong. It's Warriors and Wolves, because Suns had a head-to-head tiebreaker against them. So it'll be Warriors at Wolves in the play-in tournament. The Suns will be the 6th seed. I mean, the Western Conference is no joke right now. The Western Conference is no joke. This is this is the strongest conference in the NBA, without a shadow of a doubt. And you can't take away from this if that's going to be the case. Then there's only ways you're going to help is how you become a champion. If you become the champion, you just don't have to worry about it. That is a huge difference. So the Cavaliers and the Clippers, we'll see how he'll guy. Because Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Jared Allen, we'll see how they get this along. You got to put this thing all together. You got to put everything all together. Because of it, you're going to put yourself behind an 8-ball, and then you're going to put yourself in a really, really prime position to work with. And that's not the case. That is never the case because of it. Now you can see your own way. Let's say everything else about who do you think who's gonna win tonight, Clippers or the Cavs? But you know what's strange about James Harden? The strange part is you think he wants to bring back his own toughness, but the only strange is he won the MVP in 2017-18 season. He got to the Western Conference Finals. He was just one win away from reaching his second career NBA Finals appearance. He could have had it. He could have had his second NBA Finals appearance if it wasn't for blowing a 3-2 series lead in 2018. And since then, James Harden is never the same. He just couldn't shoot. But this season, he's making his own resurgence. So who am I picking tonight, Cavs or the Clippers? I said Cavs win tonight. It's going to be a close one. All right, so let's stick with the NBA for 10 more minutes. How's that? We also have breaking news in the NBA that this it's the Memphis and Utah's deal. So it goes like this. The Jazz have acquired Jaren Jackson Jr., John Concher, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams to the Jazz. Then Grizzlies will send Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Niang, and 3 future first-round picks. That's the first. So that was a pretty good deal for between these two teams. But the other news that I did almost mention it, the Celtics have acquired Nikola Vucevic, exchange for Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is headed to Chicago, along with Mike Conley, Jaden Ivey from Detroit. So this is a pretty damn good trade for the Celtics. Celtics won that deal because they need a big for sure. So how's it? So let's say if Tatum comes back, it'll be Pritchard, White, Brown, Keita, and Vucevic. Vucevic will be a power forward for sure. If Tatum, let's say, what if Tatum doesn't come back? Would it be Pritchard, Vucevic, Brown, Keita, and White? So there's no starter by committee. They still have full strength. The Celtics only missed 76 games as a team. That's the second lowest in the NBA. So they're actually been healthy. They actually been healthy most of the year. So they're not missing a lot of games. Even largely it's been Jason Tatum part, but Jason Tatum has missed a lot of games late in the playoffs and most of this season. But Vucevic will provide a spark for Boston as the Celtics play the Rockets tonight, the second night of the back-to-back. I'll talk the Celtics a little bit later on this show too, how they went yesterday. So actually, Celtics beat the Mavericks last night in Dallas. The Celtics play the Rockets tonight, second night of the back-to-back. So it seems to me that the trade has been put themselves in a really, really prime position. So right now, the trade is connecting over the last couple of days. We saw Dennis Schroeder heading to Cleveland, exchanging for DeAndre Hunter. Darius Garland heads to Cleveland. Hunter heads to Sacramento. It happened last Saturday, by the way, just moments before midnight. So the trade, like I said, the trade has been connecting for big stars. Jared Jackson to the Jazz, Vucevic to the Celtics. They're both at least an all-star. We had James Harden heading to Cleveland. So those are, losing a guard play is understandable. But Vucevic, like I said, he'll provide that spark offensively. He's a good rebounder. This is his third team overall, I think. I think this is his third team. He's played the Bulls, Magic. He played Philadelphia as well. This is actually his fourth team. So he played Philadelphia, Orlando, Chicago, and now Boston. And then so Nikola Vucevic, unsure when he's going to make his debut. I don't know what's going to happen tonight or not. So we'll find out if Vucevic makes his debut tonight or not. If not, probably beginning a mini homestand. Because look at the rest of their schedule. They're at Houston, and then they'll head back home against the Heat. Then they'll play the Knicks in the Super Bowl day, and then they'll wrap up the first half against the Bulls, facing his former team. That would be huge. So Celtics will probably going to win roughly 2 of their next 4 games. They'll beat the Heat and the Bulls. So they're probably going to win 2 of their next 4 games. So they have 4 games left going into tonight. 4 games left for the first half before All-Star break, I should say. So Celtics will still be the top 3. Hopefully the Celtics will be top 3 by the end of by All-Star break. If that's the case, then the Celtics will be the number 3 seed by the end of the year. And facing the Knicks in the second round of the playoffs, maybe they could beat the Knicks in the second round. They could beat the Knicks. So this is it. The trade is connecting in the NBA. All right, let's talk about more NBA trade deadlines. About 3 more minutes. How's that? 2 more minutes, I should say. What's next for the rest of the NBA trade deadline tomorrow, or between tonight and tomorrow? Well, you tell me, guys. You think that the trade deadline for the rest of the NBA is going to continue? The Lakers are still searching for an opportunity. The Lakers, even though they won last night, the Lakers need some firepower. I think the best case scenario, the Los Angeles Lakers, they need some acquisitions so they could help defensively. Who else they need some acquisitions? What else they need to make a move? Minnesota, they probably need a guard play. Minnesota needs a point guard who could help to stop turning the basketball over. And then you got someone who could step up. Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to make a high move as well. Let's see if they can add another stretch on defense. So there's a lot going on in the NBA trade deadline. So this is a good moment here if that's going to be the case. But something you really want to be happy with. If the best case scenario is to have them start on its own risk, you'd love to do that in that situation. But it's gonna help. It's gonna help every year's to step. It's we'll do what we're supposed to ask. If that's going to be the case. So let's see how it pans out in this one here. All right, what's coming up on JDB's morning cap? We'll do the Super Bowl tape between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Which one, who's better? And also coming up, we'll recap between the Celtics and the Mavericks. And also coming up, we'll preview Nuggets Knicks for tonight's game and Thunder Spurs. Thunder Spurs squaring off for the final time of the regular season series. And also Robert Kraft being snubbed into a Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll step away in 5 minutes. All right, so welcome back here as Super Bowl 60 is approaching. Seattle Seahawks battles the New England Patriots in Santa Clara this Sunday. Drake May versus Sam Darnold. So we're going to look, before we get to the tail of the tape here, but it is a larger margin now. So when we discussed about the Seahawks Patriots, how the two teams got to the Super Bowl, I discussed that yesterday. The Patriots were one of the bigger stories in the NFL. I mean, as far as team turnaround. But I do like the fact that this football team has been playing a huge amount of confidence. I mean, this is an opportunity that you have to make, and you have anyone else to step up what's needed it the most. But it's a huge difference. It is a huge difference right now. 100% significant. Huge difference. Because of that, they would have had stepped up what is necessary. So before I start to tell the tape, I could start something. You really want to hear this, but it is a golden difference that you gotta have here and out. So those are the strength of wins for Mike McDonald, is to beat teams when they score a lot of points. You can beat teams when you give up a small amount of points, not a lot of points. The Seahawks team does not give up a lot of points away. They've been absolutely consistent throughout the season. They play good branded defense. I mean, Seattle, as far as Seattle and New England goes, this is a real different story. This is a real pretty good story because of that. But those moments you cannot take away from. There's another both side matchup. Goes add to the serious books. That's the difference right now. It's generating big differences in big time games. Because I wasn't going to play like that. I wasn't really going to play like this at all. But you would have said everything else about that. As for the Patriots are in a similar position as well. But there's a lot of things they can succeed at going into the season. All they got to do is win at least 10 games. They got 14. And they won in their AFC champions for a reason. They play great defense. They're physical in every facet of the game. Physicality has been very, very good for the Patriots. And the Seahawks physicality has been great for the Seahawks as well. So they're two quality physical football teams. This is a good opportunity to have a pretty good chance to beat these teams that you're supposed to beat. We know Drake May has struggled in the postseason. Understandable. They're winning games in spite of him. Their defense is playing well, in spite of Drake May's. He struggled with his protection, not just in the postseason, in the entire regular season as well. The offensive line has been somewhat challenged. But the defense has played very well. It's not a surprise at all. But those are the difference makers that you're going to get. You're going to come something and get at it. That's not a problem. The offensive line is work in progress. Next year they'll be much better. The Patriots' offensive line will be work in progress. What if they don't win the Super Bowl? What areas they need to be better this offseason? What things they need to look at? Is it their pass protectors? Yeah, it could be that. But maybe as far as I'm concerned, there's not much I can say. Period. There isn't much I can really say about that. And that's the difference. So are you ready for the tell of tape right now, or we're gonna wait another couple minutes? I'll wait another couple minutes here. So what is tell of tape in sports? Tell of tape means that which area is better than most. which area that impresses the most when I watch that film throughout the year. That's what tail the tape is. To see who do you think who is a better one here. So we got positions, facets. So we have total. So we have everything. So we have every area that I'd like to see. So there's most check marks on one team. So we'll find out who gets the most check marks. So that's the key. Who has been decided for this? The best case scenario is to get what you're supposed to do in this one. So now that's how you get things done in this one here. All right, let's start with the tail of the tape right now. Let's do this first. Who has a better quarterback, Sam Darnold or who do you think has better quarterbacks, the Seahawks or the Patriots? I'm going to go on the right side, the Patriots. I'm going to put the check mark on the Patriots. I think Drake May should win the MVP tomorrow, most likely. It's not 100%, but I believe Drake May. I think the Patriots have a better quarterback play if Drake May. I like Sam Darnold. Well, let's talk Sam Darnold first. Sam Darnold's having another solid year as far as the record. Numbers doesn't show a lot, but he's playing very well. He's played well in this postseason, by the way, including had a big game in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. So the good news is he's not turning the football over in the playoffs. That's always a good sign for Sam Darnold to try to walk out and win his first title. Hopefully Sam Darnold gets it. As for Drake May is a quarterback. He's been great in the regular season, but struggled in the postseason. But I like Drake May. The Patriots. I think Patriots have a better quarterback play than the Seahawks. So it's about discipline and effort for this one here. All right, number two. Who has a better running game, Seattle or New England? I'm gonna go with Seattle in this one. I think Seattle has a better running game. Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker had a monster NFC divisional round game against the 49ers. Then struggled against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Let's see if he plays well against a pretty good run defense of the New England Patriots. So we'll see how that goes here. Here today, if that's going to be the case. In that one here. As for the Patriots, the running game in the regular season has been pretty decent. But in the postseason, it's been up and down. But for the Patriots, running game has been up and down so far. So we'll see how it differences out in this one here. So the better running game, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think Seattle has a better running game than New England. Better wide receiver, Seattle or New England? I'll go with Seattle. Jackson Smith-Njigba is having a heck of a season. And there's no getting around it. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a great wide receiver. He's been the best receiver in the league so far this year. I mean, the Patriots, the receiving game has improved. Keyshawn Butte has improved. Stephon Diggs is adding to the mix. So I believe, but I give Seattle a slight edge. They have a better wide receiver position than any other ones in the NFL. Better offensive line, Seattle or New England? Sam Darnold's only given up 27 sacks Drake May has got more sacks than Sam Darnold. So the better offensive line, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think Seattle will win the trenches for this one. Hopefully that would be the case, but Seattle has a better offensive line than New England. New England has struggled to protect Drake May, by the way. So I think that's going to be this one here now. All right, total offense. Should I go Seattle or New England? I'm gonna take Seattle on this one. I think the offense is good. I think their offense is better than the Patriots. But both offenses top 5 or 10 offenses in the league. But I like the Seattle offense. They're fresh. They're sharp. They got good receivers, good tight ends. They got a good running game, and quarterback Sam Darnold has played very well. Drake May has been great, like I said, but I like Seattle a slight edge on the total offense. Total defense, no doubt, no surprise. It's Seattle as well. Either Seattle or New England, but Seattle has a better total defense. Both defenses top 5 as well. So, but Seattle has a higher ranking than New England, but they're both top 5 defense as well. So, I mean, I like Seattle a slight edge in this one here. So, if that's going to be the case. Special teams, New England or Seattle? I'm going to go New England in this one. I think special teams is pretty good. They got good returners. They cover kicks as well. I mean, I think special teams is in favor of New England. So I think special teams is going to be a key factor to this game, whether or not. I like Seattle special teams too. Special teams has been pretty good as well, but there was some hiccups on this one. But I like New England as better special teams. Better kicking game. I'm gonna go with Seattle. Borgas has been pretty good so far this year. Jason Myers has been pretty good, but I like Seattle better kicking game. I think this is a huge step for them, and this is how much they can really step up forward. And this is a huge step for these guys, and something you have to really play with. I think they can, discipline. Seattle or New England? I think Seattle's a better disciplined team than New England. For New England, they have struggled with penalties and all that kind of stuff. They've been a little bit better in the playoffs as far as being disciplined. Discipline has been an issue for most of the regular season, but it's been better in the playoffs. Seattle, their discipline's been pretty darn good most of the year. They don't commit a lot of penalties. The reason why they win games, they don't commit a lot of penalties. But they do turn over a lot, but they don't commit too many penalties. That's how you win games. Either you dominate or even games you don't play your best. But I like Seattle is a better discipline. Coaching, Seattle or New England? I'm going to go with Seattle as well. Seattle has a better coaching. I mean, we talk about that, the difference maker. The difference maker is going to be the key to win football games like that. I think Seattle has a better coaching in this one here. All right, we got 2 more tapes to go. X Factor. Who's a better X Factor? New England or Seattle? I'll go with Seattle as well. I'll go with Seattle. Seattle has a better X Factor. So the biggest X Factor for the Seattle Seahawks is going to be Ernest Jones on defense. Ernest Jones will be the X Factor on the defensive side of the ball. The other X Factor for the Seahawks offense so I can name who's the X Factor for the Seahawks offense in the Super Bowl who could impact to come away with a W. Rashid Shaheed will be the X Factor for the Seattle Seahawks. Rashid Shaheed's having a decent playoffs. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown to open up the divisional round game in a blowout win against the 49ers. Rashid Shaheed is the X factor for the Seahawks. For the Patriots, there's some X factors of their own. On the defensive side, Christian Gonzalez. On the Patriots offensive side, the Patriots X factor on the offensive side of the ball is Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson will be a huge factor for this team if that's going to be the case. I say coaching goes Seattle. Mike McDonald coaches very well. And then Mike Vrabel coaches very well. But Seattle gets a coaching slight edge. The winner, I can't pick this one yet, but I'll let everyone else decide. Most people, I'm just saying, I prefer that most people are saying Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks is the winner. I can't choose this yet. I can't choose it. I can't choose it right now because in position for this, I can't pick this one yet, but I'll let others decide. Most people picking Seattle, so I put Seattle a check mark as well. So here's to that. Here's to that in this one. All right. Let's move on from that. Coming up next, we're going to talk about this, a recap between the Celtics and the Mavericks. That's coming up. Also coming up next, we're going to talk about, we'll preview both Nuggets at Knicks and Thunder Spurs, both games on ESPN tonight between 7 and 9:30 Eastern, respectively. And also, we're going to talk about Robert Kraft's Hall of Fame's being Robert Kraft's first ballot Hall of Fame has been snubbed. We'll step away in 3 minutes. All right, so the Celtics scored off against the Dallas Mavericks last night in Dallas. This as Jaylen Brown versus Cooper Flagg. They were squared off yesterday. Jaylen Brown had another 30-point place. He finished 33 points and 11 rebounds, 15 made field goals. Meanwhile, Peyton Pritchard scored 26 points. He had 7 assists as well. As Cooper Flagg, another stellar performance, 36 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Unfortunately, Mavericks end up losing by 10, 110 to 100 was the final score last night. The Celtics improved to 32 and 18. The Mavericks dipped to 19 and 31. The Mavericks are now 19 and 31 on the season. We'll get to that in just a moment. So let me ask this question about this. So with that 10-point win, do you think Jaylen Brown was Tracy McGrady right? As we'll get to that in a second. I'll answer the question in just a moment. So let's see what. So let me take a look at this. Let's see what Tracy McGrady has to say about the Jaylen Brown's MVP frontrunner.
What people don't understand. You lose Porzingis, JT is out, Drew Holiday is gone, and Al Horford is gone. That's 57% of your offense that is gone. And to come into a season where you got different players in the lineup, implement them into your system, and you're tied for second in the East, and you're half of your duo is leading charge. Listen, man, he has to be front runner MVP.
Well, technically, I agree with Tracy McGrady. Because he deserves to be a front runner in MVP. But the way it took, the way it has a different perspective. But everybody knows you can't be disrespected. But I think he deserves to be an MVP frontrunner because the way he's been playing out of his mind this season. That is a giant difference. It's more than a giant difference. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But you put yourself in a really gigantic situation because of that. It's really, really, really tough. It's tough now. Let's see if Reggie Miller has something to say about that.
Man, like Jaylen Brown is this year, the first and third quarters to me, that's when he did most of his damage and where he acquired a lot of these 33 points and 11 rebounds. But the degree of difficulty, his ability to be a shot maker, but he gets everyone involved. He's great defensively, stripping Cooper Flagg up top. To me, the Boston Celtics, I'm so surprised that they are this good without Jason Tatum. I knew they would be competitive. They're a championship team. But to be tied with the Knicks for the second best record in the Eastern Conference, all because Jaylen Brown, and again, Peyton Pritchard, Luka Magic, Luka Garza Magic, Luka Legend, whatever you want to call him. Look, it'll be interesting now with the potential trade that they're talking about. No Anthony Simons now. Vucevic will probably be the starting center. Do you keep Peyton Pritchard on the bench, who played great tonight, 26 points? Joe Mazzulla, you have a lot of options now. That's all I'm saying, a lot of options.
He has.
Well, that's the best case scenario. You got to make those moves. That is necessary. You have to make these moves when it's necessary. Because of that, the Celtics feel like there's an option that you got to keep Peyton Pritchard as point guard. I'm not sure about that. So I'm happy that the Celtics will get this. Hopefully the Celtics will keep this organized. Celtics will play second night of the back-to-back. They'll travel to play the Houston Rockets tonight. Is it else? All right, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg had another monster game with 36 points. But unfortunately, like I said, they end up losing by 10 points. The Mavericks are now 19 and 31. And the Mavericks are now on a 5-game losing streak, but they will host the Spurs tomorrow, try to snap its 5-game losing streak against San Antonio. So this is crucial. Whoever wins this game has to get someone to do it. But Cooper Flagg, I'm impressed. Like I said, he's got a pretty good chance to win the Rookie of the Year. That's 3 consecutive 30-plus point games. And they lost all 3 games with it. But this was a competitive loss last night. They tried to get back in this game, but the defense unable to get timely stops, unfortunately. So what the Mavericks did last night, they only shot 42% from the field, 28% from downtown. 28% from long distance. They did out-rebound the Celtics by 2, 49-47. And Mavericks only had 21 assists. They only turned over 9 times, so it's not that bad. And they only led for just a little bit. They're only up by 3. They were trailing as many as 23 before the Mavericks got back in this game, but unfortunately, they just weren't making enough shots. The reason why they lost last night, the Mavericks weren't making enough shots. So the Mavericks struggled in the fourth quarter all season long. They did win a fourth quarter battle last night, but they only lost by 10 points. If it wasn't for that, they would have won. But it's been disappointing for the Mavericks. It truly is. A lot of injuries, losing Anthony Davis, losing Kyrie Irving. The health has been problematic for the Mavericks over the last few years. I mean, they've been showing Gafford was hurt early in that game last night, came back. Injuries have been a problem all season long for the Dallas Mavericks. So hopefully they'll have to change one of their fortunes than what they have here. All right, so what's next on this morning cap? We'll preview Nuggets and the Knicks. We'll talk Thunder and Spurs. We'll preview both of these games. And then Robert Kraft being snubbed into a Pro Football Hall of Fame. We'll step away about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be right back, y'all. All right, so tonight it'll be the Denver Nuggets will visit the New York Knicks. The Nuggets played yesterday. Both Nuggets and Knicks played last night. Knicks with a 132-101 victory. On the road, they're headed back home. They improved to 32-18. Meanwhile, the Nuggets last night, they were down as many as 20 points. They end up losing by 3 points in Detroit, 104-101. So Nuggets got swept by the Pistons in a 2-game season series. So Nuggets and Knicks squared off tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. So let's start with this. And who am I picking? We'll get to that in a couple of moments here. So it'll be Jokic versus Brunson tonight, second night of the back-to-back. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. Number 3 seed, how the Nuggets doing so far over the last few games. And since that time, the Nuggets have lost 3 of their last 5 games. And large part it's been nail biting. 2 of those 2 of these 3 losses have been against Detroit. And both have been nail biting games. Nuggets comeback was short in Detroit last night after they were down as many as 20 points, but they're still a quality basketball team. Yes, they're dealing with a bunch of injuries this year, but they won 33 games in spite of that. But the offense struggled last night. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. But I do know this. Tonight, I think Nuggets will come out here and show a lot of energy against the Knicks. So Jokic has to play tonight. Getting healthy is going to be key. Now, this is it. It's going to be a competitive game, both Knicks and Nuggets. So I said, if Denver wants to come away with a big win, that starts tonight. Denver has to come out with a sense of urgency if they want to find energy. As for the Knicks They blew out the Wizards last night. No surprise. What Knicks did yesterday. Last night, Jalen Brunson had 21, Towns and Anunoby had 19 each. Bridges had 23, leads the team. But contributions, that's how the Knicks won the game. It's about total team effort and total team contributions. That's the key to win basketball games. That's what Mike Brown wants. They want total team effort and total team contributions. That's the key. That's the key of success. You got to have a great total team effort and great total team contributions. So, when you win basketball games like that, you made your own huge differences in this one. So, who am I picking? Knicks or the Nuggets? I'm gonna pick the Nuggets to win tonight. So I think Nuggets wins tonight. I think they'll be more energized, and hopefully they'll make a huge difference in this one. So I think this is gonna be a huge story for this one. All right. So we'll stay in the NBA tonight. It's the Thunder and the Spurs. Final game of this 5-game season series. Spurs leads the season series 3-1. They already clinched the season series, by the way. Thunder is 40-11. Thunder picked up their 40th win last night against the Magic. The Spurs are 33-16, still the number 2 seed in the West. So here's my question right now. Is this the Western Conference Finals preview between the Thunder and Spurs? Yes, it is. This is the Western Conference Finals preview between the Thunder and Spurs. We've been talking about this. Spurs have their Thunder numbers this season, and they clearly had their numbers because it felt like there's a lot of good things that can go around it. Victor Wembanyama is having a solid year, an All-Star campaign, maybe MVP type season. Shai Alexander, MVP type season. We talk about the matchups. We talk about size, strength. This is the key. This is the key to success. It's about team companionship. But you got two teams have higher. The Thunder has a higher championship aspiration. Spurs, they could be future champions as well. It's gonna wait till another. You gotta wait till another year to provide some spark. You gotta wait till another year to provide a roster talent. This Spurs team has shown a lot of great resiliency all season long. Like Stephen Castle, Dylan Harper, Devin Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Julian Champagnie, Luke Cornett. The list goes on and on. They search every consistency for every Spurs player. That's been learning for months. Mitch Johnson has done a great job to put this young team and this young core together. The togetherness has worked. The togetherness has worked. Yes, like I said, the togetherness has worked this plan. Because of that, it is a different story between time to time. I mean, for the Thunder has won the most games in the NBA despite they missing some guys with injuries with key players, but they're winning basketball games when it's necessary. It's not just SGA. It's been Chet Holmgren. It's been Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren has made a huge difference for the Thunder. When he's healthy, He's got a A+ potential. So I think he gets what he deserves. I mean that is a golden difference right now. Because of that, you don't have to go through the same issues for this one here. So I'd love to see it. Who I'm picking tonight, Thunder or the Spurs? Well, I'm going to pick Thunder winning tonight. I think Thunder winning. I think this game is going to be close. I think this is going to be a huge one here. All right, come next, we're going to talk about Robert Kraft being snubbed. We'll take a video for this, and then we'll wrap things up. And then what's coming on our next episode, we'll step away in about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, welcome back here. We talked about Robert Kraft yesterday, and today I will continue to do this for actually a longer time. So we're going to start off with that. Why is Robert Kraft not in the first ballot Hall of Fame? Because I believe Robert Kraft because this is a really unfortunate situation, because right now everybody wants to blame the Patriots. That's the reason why they not put Robert Kraft in the first ballot Hall of Fame. Every officials are gonna blame the Patriots. The way they scandalized. And you do hate it's hurting. It's absolutely hurting. This is absolutely a joke. I mean, this is a bad call. Bill Belichick. This is a Hall of Fame controversy. This is about Hall of Fame controversy. Why Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick not selected in the first ballot Hall of Fame? That's not smart. Absolutely atrocious. This is ridiculous, because I'm not a Patriot fan. I could have been, but if I'm a Patriot fan, I would be upset. He should not be in the Hall of Fame. But this is a really unfortunate situation. You're gonna ask for it. But the worst case scenario is you want to put Robert Kraft in harm's way. You don't want that. And now they can find another way to find another lawsuit. So you can pay your lawsuit, is to say the least. Let's just say all this. It's about, all you gotta do is Robert Kraft just get a lot of votes, get like 40 to 50 votes, you would have been in right now. You would have been in right now. That's it. That's how you ask. That's not how the NFL ballot works. You gotta take 40 to 50 votes to put themselves into the Hall of Fame. It's painful. It's absolutely painful for the NFL. It's hard right now. I understand what you're going at. They've been going through this time and time again. I mean, when you're going through the same issues, you wouldn't have this problem, right? You would have had this problem. Now, if you need to tell me about that, we've seen we've seen more NFL players or coaches or front offices are not inducting to Hall of Fames because of the crisis, the scandals. I mean, those are the situations you gotta resolve. This is really, really, really tough. This is really, really, this is really tough. And why the hell he's not in the damn Hall of Fame? Forget it. He'll get another try. Robert Kraft gets another try. These two will be Hall of Famers soon enough. The question is, someone says, is Tom Brady next to be not in the first ballot Hall of Fame? Well, I hope he doesn't get snubbed either. You gotta put Tom Brady in the Hall of Fame. You gotta put a lot of votes in. You must get 40 to 50 votes. I don't care if it's 60, 100. I don't give a damn. Just do what you're supposed to do. And then you can induct your first ballot in the Hall of Fame. So you can connect yourself. It's undone. It's 100% undone in the NFL. Hall of Fame is really the biggest stage. It's really hard now. You put yourself in a really, really bad position to be in this position right now and be unprecedented. So I'm gonna watch this full video about a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna watch this video right now. So you might as well get ready for this, and then I'll save my reaction.
Right here today, we ain't talking about the Hall of Fame in football no more. It doesn't have any credibility. It's a waste of time.
Okay, so let me talk about this next couple of minutes here. Yeah, this is disjointed to me. This is absolutely disjointed. This has been the most disjointed moment I ever seen in my life. These the two legendary guys, Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, are not being a first ballot Hall of Fame. This has got to be the most disjointed moment I ever seen in my life. But damn, this is really, really, really hard. It's hard now. It's hard now. It is really, really hard. It's tough. All right, coming up next, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then what's coming up in our next episode tomorrow. We'll step away in about 3 minutes. All right, let's wrap things up. So, before we wrap things up here, let's wrap it up. What's coming up in our next episode? Tomorrow we'll preview the NFL honors, and then we'll recap between the Knicks and the Nuggets in New York. Also, Thunder at Spurs as well from tonight's game. And then tomorrow, trade deadline is here. Trade deadline is tomorrow. I know how excited I am. And then we'll still talk about Seahawks and Patriots. So we're really excited about this. So as of tomorrow, whether or not it's going to be a short show or not, I'll find out. There's going to be a lot of breaking news in the NBA tomorrow. And then Friday, we'll find out who's the biggest winner and losers at the trade deadline. And then Friday, we'll take our final look between the Patriots and the Seahawks and who find out who wins. So it's going to be interesting next couple of days. I believe this is going to be a fun one. All right, that's it. I'm out of here, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.